Yo, 2000 Toyota 4Runner. It's got a little gas tank leak. It's leaking at the seam. I'm going to drain as much fuel out of here as I possibly can. I don't know if there's a relay for the fuel pump so I can just drive the fuel pump until this empties out. So I'm just gonna take this fuel line off. A lot of times that'll squirt all over the place. Instead of trying to figure out how to power up the fuel pump in the vehicle, I have an auxiliary fuel pump that I use for a lot of different things. This way I don't have to deal with the gas tank leaking all over the place and stinking up my garage. I already pumped almost all of it out of the tank outside and left it sit overnight so it'd all evaporate off the tank because it was leaking all over the place. And now it's got enough gas in it to where it's below the seam, so it's not leaking anymore. I'm just going to hook this up to the battery. I'm just going to let that run until it's empty. I have the driver's side rear door open. I think I can pull this carpet back, and there's a panel under this seat, so I'm going to take this kick panel off with a Phillips screwdriver. Yeah, there's a panel here with 3 screws in it and a bunch of wires. I got the wire for the fuel pump and sending unit right here, and there's a tab you can push in on this. And this connector should pull up. Then over here I got some wires that are going to I don't know what, but they're clamped in on the top of the tank. So I'm just going to unplug these connectors here. And just drop that down with the tank. Now I have this heavy duty skid plate here that now looks like a crusty, rusty rust sandwich. It looks like there's a series of 12s and 14 millimeters all over the thing. Or maybe just 12s, really rusty 12s that look like 14 millimeters. I don't know yet. This is all supposed to be one piece, but it looks like it's going to come down in more than one piece. Needless to say, I don't think I'm going to put this skid plate back on. He can find a new one if he really wants one. Wow, that hit the ground. It didn't even sound like metal. It just sounded like a crappy piece of metallic-y cardboard or something. This looks like a 14 millimeter. And it's not. Ugh. 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 I gotta hit these with a hammer to get these bolts out of here. I didn't need to hammer my socket onto that one. Amazing. Oh, it broke. Oh. Oh no. I better junk it. Looks like I have a little mess to clean up. Now I have the vent hose and the filler neck I'm going to deal with next. This filler neck's got a 10 millimeter hose clamp on it. I'm going to try to loosen this hose up with a hook tool. And I just have a pinch clamp on this breather for the filler neck. Now if you follow this little breather pipe for this filler neck, you'll feel there's a 12 millimeter nut back here that you really can't even see. I'm going to try to take that off with a ratcheting wrench. Alright, that was a total rusted on piece of crap, and the reason why I did that is because this bar is part of the frame and it goes up and over it. So I just want to pull this out of my way so it can come down with the tank real easy. Now on the front of the tank, I got a fuel pressure line and a vent line and a return line. I don't know which one's a vent and return, so you don't want to mix these two lines up because they look like they're both the same size. So you want to make sure you put them back on in the same place. These just have regular little pinch clamps on them. This high pressure line's probably going to drip all over the place. It's a 14 millimeter and a 19 millimeter, and it's stuck really good. I might have to get a line wrench for that. Maybe I can get at this line easier. Then I'll just take this flexible hose off when I get the tank down. I'm gonna put a 15 millimeter on this line wrench. Hopefully that'll give me a little more leverage. Now on the front there was 2 bolts for this skid plate that were holding the tank onto this frame, and there's 1 bolt left on the front. And then the rear, there's a strap, and that one's pinned with a clip. And there's one, looks like a 14 millimeter on the strap on the rear. And this 1 bolt for the skid plate broke, and I can't imagine this one wouldn't do the same. It looks like hell. I'm probably just going to use an impact, and if it breaks, I'm just going to have to try to bust this nut off that's welded on here and use a bolt and a nut, I guess. I don't know. I'm using this amazing apparatus again. Motorcycle jack, transmission jack. If you're a tree jacker, you can probably just use a regular jack and get a tree jacking friend to help you. Amazing, that bolt didn't break. Get this roll pin out, strap out. Now I still have a small loom of wires attached to this tank up top, so I'm just going to let it down a little bit and see what I can see. I just grabbed onto the wire and I held onto it to make sure that it was still loose. And now that I let it down enough, I can see that hanger that it's sitting on. And I got towards the back here, and I could get my hand back here, and I just took a utility knife and cut the tape off of that loom. Now the big dumb thing should come all the way down. Now I just need to swap parts from the rusty old junk to the less rusty old junk. Can you tell which is which? Reverse procedure. Fill the janky tanky. Make sure the gas gauge works and see if it starts. I win. Okay, bye. I guess I'm not quite done with this car yet. I noticed that there was a leak on the back of here, and I didn't know where it was coming from, so I cleaned it up, and it started dripping right out of this pumpkin cover. It's not even a pumpkin cover, it's actually the differential. So there's a hole in it somewhere around here. Where's the hole? I gotta find a hole and patch it up. It's just thick. Really thick, grody rust. I have no idea where this was coming from. I think I found it. I found the hole. Oh, there it is right there. So that's one more piece of fun I get to do. I'm just going to drain the axle. I'm going to weld that hole shut. Try to open it up as much as I can. Fun. I won't be doing a video on that. Okay, bye.